Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you guys an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So as you can tell by the title of the video, yeah, you read that correctly. I am reviewing the new Tom Ford Holiday Palette now. Before you come after me, because Tom Ford is a very expensive brand, and this is my very first Tom Ford item. I did not pay full price for this. Yes, you heard that correct. Okay, so if you would like to see what I think about this bad boy right here and learn how much I paid for this new release, which was not full price, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Alright guys, so Tom Ford recently announced that this was their holiday release, and this is the Tom Ford Soleil Holiday Collection. The shade for this palette is 01 Naked Pink. It comes in a little white pouch. Here she is. I really do enjoy the white and the silver. It is magnetic. And here is the inside of it. I haven't even touched it. The plastic is still on top. The colors just look so beautiful. I purchased this quad on the Macy's website on October the 4th, and I received it this morning. It is October the 8th. There was a couple of Tom Ford items on sale on Nordstrom's and also on the Macy's website. For some reason, there was a 15% off code for this new release as well. So I took advantage and I placed my order and hoped that it would go through before they realized maybe that it was a glitch. But yeah, I only paid $75.65 for this brand new holiday palette that literally came out not even a week ago. And I am excited to dig in because this is my first Tom Ford purchase and I hope that I love it. So let me bring you in closer and I will show you some swatches, and we can start with applying this palette on my eyelids and see if it's gorgeous or if it isn't. All right guys, so here are swatches of the palette. So this shade right here might not show up at all on my lid. I guess we'll see if it does, but it is really such a beautiful palette. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Charlotte Tilbury quad I have. I think I might have to compare it to the Exaggerize and the new Celestial Pearl palette just to make sure. But this shimmery topper shade is so pretty. Okay, let's get started on an eye look. Okay, I don't see any names for the shades in this palette. So yeah, I'm going to start with the lightest shade, and I'm actually going to try and use that on my crease and just see how it goes. I'm using a Sigma Soft Blend 30, and let's see if you can even see that shade on my eyelid. I did already prime. I used the Makeup by Mario eye primer. Okay, you can kind of see it a tiny bit, not too much. Okay, there it is. I did bring it down to my lower lash line, and as you can see, it's a very subtle shade on my lid, but since it is more of a cool tone shade, I think that is the only reason why you can actually see it, even with it being close to my skin color. Now we are going to dip into this corner shade, which has some sort of sheen in it. This is an Essence little fluffy brush. I'm going to use this on my crease and a little bit on the outer corner. Okay, so this looks a little more silver on the lid than it does on the pan. At least on my skin tone it does. Like, it looks a lot lighter here than it does in the pan itself, right? It's still a pretty shade though. Okay, so crease and a little bit in the corner, and I'm also gonna bring it down. Okay, here we are. This is what we have so far. Now I am going to go into this shade here and try and deepen up the outer corner just a tiny bit. This is a Refer 01. It's a fluffy flat brush. So this is going to go in the outer corner. And I'm going to also bring it a tiny bit to my crease. As you can see, this shade is also not looking as dark on the lid as it does in the pan, right? I think that's going to be, okay, I'm going to bring it down on the lower lash line as well. Okay, now last but not least, the topper shade. It's Friday, guys, it's Friday, and everybody and their mama are out there with their loud ass cars. My twins are already sleeping and they better not wake them up. Okay, there it is. It's so pretty and it reminds me a lot of the one in, I think it's Exaggerize from Charlotte Tilbury. But it's a beautiful sparkly shade. Actually, I think this one has a little more sparkle than the Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna have to compare them side by side. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off camera, get those quads so I can compare and finish up my eye look. All right, guys, here is the finished eye look. I just wanted to show you up close what it looked like. I did put on some lashes by the Cream Shop. This is one of their 3D Foam Make. I used the Natasha Denona Gel Liner. This is the brown one for the lid, and then I did do a small little wing. I used the ColourPop Nude eyeliner for the waterline and my NYX dark brown jumbo eye pencil to tightline so that I can kind of hide my lashes. But yeah, here it is. It's absolutely beautiful, very soft and simplistic. So let me go ahead and zoom out and we can talk. All right, guys, so this Tom Ford eyeshadow palette in Nude Pink is very beautiful. I really enjoyed playing with the shades. They are beautiful shades. This shade right here and this one definitely look darker on the pan than they do on my actual eyelid, but I think that's pretty normal. Like with balm foundations, they look darker in the pan than they do once you swatch them. So I think it's kind of the same concept in a way. Okay, so I did bring up my two Charlotte Tilbury palettes, the two quads that I own, because they remind me a lot of this Tom Ford color scheme. So this is the Exaggerize with Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna put them side by side. So definitely a very similar vibe, right? What do we think? Yeah. I also feel like the new Celestial Pearl Holiday palette gives me a similar vibe to it. The only difference is that one shade, the one with the embossment, and this one right here that has like the shift in there with the shimmers. But I do feel like they have similar vibes. So let me go ahead and swatch them and show you. Okay, so the top, this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade is the Tom Ford. And down here, this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade is the Exaggerize. So a very similar vibe. I just feel that with the Exaggerize, you can get more depth because the matte shade is darker than this one. And even in the swatch, this looks darker than it did in my lid, I feel like. Okay, now comparing it with the Celestial Pearl up top is the Tom Ford. So that's the shimmer shade, the light one, the skin tone matte shade, the topper shade, and then the like rosy pink one. And then here is the Celestial Pearl. So not exactly the same vibe. I feel like with the swatches, the Celestial Pearl looks like you can get more depth than you can with the Tom Ford. But if I'm being honest, once I put these shadows on my eyes, I used this yesterday, and the darkest shade doesn't even look this dark on my actual lid. So there's not much depth that you can get with either of these eyeshadow palettes. At the end of the day, all of the looks that I can create with each one of these eyeshadow palettes end up looking very similar. I do have to say though, the little topper shade in the Tom Ford palette is definitely the star of the show for this palette. I can even say that it's slightly prettier than the topper shades in my two Charlotte Tilbury palettes. I know that's a lot to say. It just honestly feels like it looks so wet, and like the camera isn't even doing it justice. The pearls in there are just so pretty. Like honestly, in person, it almost looks like it's wet when you swatch it. It's a very beautiful topper shade. They did an amazing job with that particular topper shade. Okay guys, so I'm glad that I was able to show you swatch comparisons with the two Charlotte Tilbury palettes that I do have that remind me of this new Tom Ford Quad in 01 Naked Pink, their holiday release. So would I recommend this eyeshadow palette? It's a beautiful palette, yes. I created a beautiful eye look. It's a very soft, timeless eye look. I feel like this is an ongoing theme with these luxury brands, but I don't feel that it's worth the $89 that they're trying to sell it for. Especially because I can create a similar look with this $53 one by Charlotte Tilbury. That's significantly a lot less than the Tom Ford, especially when at the end of the day, the eye looks pretty much look almost exactly the same. I didn't pay full price myself, and if I didn't see it on discount, I would not have purchased it, because I don't feel that you need to pay $89 just for the name brand. That's all you're pretty much paying for, I feel like, with Tom Ford, especially after playing with this eyeshadow palette. Yes, it is absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed playing with it. The shades in here are gorgeous. This topper shade, like I raved about earlier a couple of minutes ago, it is beautiful, but just the price range, it's not worth it at all. So unless you are a Tom Ford stan, or if you are being a little bougie and you are going to treat yourself, then yeah, go for it. But I can't sit here and tell you you need to go out and purchase this right now, because yeah, I don't think the $89 is worth it for what you are getting, especially because, like I said, I can create pretty much a similar eye look with the Charlotte Tilbury Quad, which is like $30 less. Just saying. Okay guys, well, I think that pretty much concludes this video. I did forget to mention I received a little mini Tom Ford lipstick. This is, what shade is this? This is in 16 Scarlet Rogue. And it looks like it's kind of like a almost cool tone red. Let me swatch it. Oh, it's pretty. It's not a cool tone red. It's more of like a red orange. This would be perfect. Oh, that smells good for the holidays. So I'll definitely be trying that out sometime. I didn't think it would go well with this eye look. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. And thank you for joining me with my first Tom Ford review. It was an exciting one. I would love it if you gave this video a big ol' thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm and hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. I am on the journey of hopefully reaching 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2021. And you can definitely help me out by clicking the subscribe button. We are in October, so that means we have a little over 2 months before the end of the year. So I would really love it if you helped me in reaching my goal of 1,000 subscribers. All right, guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.